Welcome to Lavender Recap. In today's video, we'll be going through an American action and thriller movie from the year 2016 titled Mechanic Resurrection, which is the sequel to its early movie, The Mechanic, from the year 2011. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. Arthur Bishop flees to Brazil after surviving the explosion in the first film. Here, he lives happily on a ship in the harbor as if he were an average guy. Bishop was in the restaurant one day when he was approached by a woman who offered him a job to kill. Bishop of course refused, but the woman threatened to reveal Bishop's disguise in Brazil, exposing him to the old company's hunt. Bishop, who still didn't want to, then hastily snapped a photo of the woman, causing a ruckus in the area. The woman's men attempted to pursue and capture Bishop, but he was not only silent, but he has also battled and defeated them one by one. His assailants then jumped to the top of the cable car and fled. Bishop decided to jump and land squarely on the wing of the passing hand glider because he was still being overrun by the woman. Bishop returned to his apartment on ship in the evening, but it turned out that a large crowd had gathered and encircled the ship. Bishop activated the bomb and destroyed the spacecraft as soon as he realized his home was in danger. Bishop then traveled to a different hiding location in the port. When he arrived, he brought out a package containing cash and guns, as well as a passport that he had kept. Short story, after fleeing Brazil, Bishop made his way to Thailand, where he stayed on a lonely island owned by an old acquaintance named May. Later at night, Bishop used the images he had collected to hunt for information about the lady who was chasing him in Brazil, and he learned that the woman was a man named Raya Crane. May approached Bishop hurriedly and anxiously shortly after. She had apparently come to Bishop to request assistance for a woman who was being tortured. Bishop saved her and then handed the woman over to May. Bishop then went on a search of the ship, discovering a cell phone and a photograph of himself. Knowing this, Bishop set fire to the ship and returned to the woman he had rescued earlier. After looking through the woman's details, it was revealed that her name was Gina Thornton, and Crane instructed her to approach Bishop. Gina, on the other hand, wanted to highlight that she was not employed by Crane. She did it as a result of Crane's threats and compulsion. Bishop searches for information about Gina the next day and discovers that she's the owner of an organization that helps victims of human trafficking. Bishop approaches Gina on the beach after hearing this information and chats with her. Bishop learns that from his chat that Crane is pressuring Gina to approach him. Crane threatens to kill everyone in Gina's organization, including the children she's responsible for. As a result, Gina doesn't have a choice but to comply with Crane's request. Following the conversation, finally, Bishop has faith in Gina, and the two are growing closer by the day. Then they develop feelings for each other, but their happiness is short-lived when Crane's men, masquerading as police officers, arrive on the island one day to deliver Bishop. Bishop attempted to fight, but he was outmanned. Finally, they abducted Gina and took her away. Bishop finally surrendered after being threatened with a gun, and then received a call from Crane inviting him to his home. The action now takes place in Bangkok, Thailand. Bishop went to a house in response to Crane's offer. Bishop was checked and then invited to sit down when he arrived, but he had no idea that the bench he was sitting on had a bomb planted beneath it. Crane came to see Bishop shortly after because Bishop was unable to move from his chair and could only listen to Crane. And it was here that he assigned Bishop a mission to assassinate 3 armed stealers while making the assassination appear to be an accident in exchange for Crane's release of Gina once the operation was accomplished. Bishop was obliged to carry out the assignment requested by Crane, the first operation he undertook since Crane threatened to kill Gina. Bishop intended to assassinate Marlon Krill. In the country of Malaysia, he was imprisoned in the midst of the sea. Bishop prepares all he needs, from building a bomb to painting a tattoo in his face, to disguise himself as the most wanted fugitive. Bishop acted quickly when all of the preparations were completed, causing a commotion on the street with a police officer, and was eventually detained. Bishop was imprisoned in the same prison as Krill because of the tattoo on his face, which led the police to believe he was Malaysia's most wanted fugitive. Bishop searches for information about Krill after entering prison and then begins to approach Krill by rescuing him from assassins. Krill extends an invitation to Bishop to visit his base as a token of his gratitude, but he has no idea that Bishop will be the one to kill him. When Krill is caught off by surprise, Bishop grabs a stick and immediately tries to choke Krill's neck until he passes out. Following that, Bishop concocts a narcotic and drinks it on Krill until he overdoses and dies. He then walked out of the room. There was anarchy among the groups once Krill died. Bishop, seeing an opportunity to flee the prison, went straight to the prison wall and detonated the device he had hidden. Bishop leaped and dove into the sea after passing through the hollow wall, and then swam toward the ship that picked him up. Bishop begins the second mission to assassinate the next target, Adrian Cook in Australia, after the first operation is finished. Following his time in Australia, Bishop made observations and sought information about everything Andrea did in his apartment on a daily basis. Bishop learned through his observations that Adrian always swam in the pool on the roof of the building. When Bishop arrived under the pool, he immediately drilled a hole in the glass, then poured a chemical into the pool, causing Adrian to fall into the pool while he was swimming and die terribly. The second mission went off without a hitch. Bishop is permitted to contact Gina while they're conversing after completing the second assignment. Gina delivers instructions by rotating the camera and displaying the ship's number where she's being held captive. Following the instructions, Bishop determines the ship's location and rushes off to pursue the ship with a helicopter. Shortly later, Bishop discovered the ship and surreptitiously got aboard, fighting Crane's man. Bishop was eventually incapacitated and turned over to Crane after facing too many opponents. Crane then threatens to kill Gina unless Bishop kills his final target right away. The scene shifts to Bulgaria, where Bishop is shown plotting his next move to assassinate the last target, who lives in a high-security compound on a hill. Bishop, on the other hand, can use emergency methods to find a way. He visits the hospital, shoots the guard with a gun from a distance, and then sneaks beneath the hospital's helicopter, which will pick up the guard he shot earlier. After entering the facility and incapacitating the guards, Bishop exits through the air vent, while his target Max Adams instantly fled into the bunker to hide. But he was taken aback when he discovered that Bishop had been waiting for him in the bunker, brandishing his rifle. After that, they talked some more, and Bishop revealed that Crane was the one who had commanded him. Bishop encouraged Max to join him in killing Crane because he didn't want to be enslaved by him. When they learned that Max had accepted Bishop's offer, they devised a plan to trap Crane by creating a scenario in which Max is presumed dead and Crane is summoned to get Max's submarine. To cut a long story short, Max headed to his submarine. Bishop then exploded the explosive he had installed while standing on a bridge, causing Max to fall into the water. Then Bishop came to Max's rescue and whisked him away to the beach to hide. Crane's men arrived shortly after, and another shootout ensued, with Bishop effortlessly dispatching all of his opponents with the traps he had set up. Bishop then dashed to Crane's ship and returned to try to save Gina on board. Because Crane's soldiers were greatly weakened when stealing the submarine in Max's place earlier, Bishop will be able to break into the ship more easily this time. Gina, on the other hand, was shot in the stomach while attempting to fight a bodyguard. Crane then brought Gina to the control room and told her that he was going to blow up the ship before leaving. Knowing the ship was going to blow up, Bishop tracked out Gina and whisked her away to rescue Capsule, where she was safely evacuated from the ship. Bishop then pursues Crane, who was attempting to flee the ship. Bishop promptly dispatches Crane's security, who was in his path, and the two now face to face. Bishop was almost cornered in the fight at first when Crane used the anchor chain, but Bishop was able to fight back and reclaim the anchor chain in the end. Bishop then thrashed Crane and bound him with a chain so he couldn't move. Crane predicted that Bishop would perish in the ship's explosion before it happened, but Bishop instead returned to the ship, where a tremendous explosion occurred, destroying the entire ship. Bishop was pronounced dead as a result of the explosion, which occurred because they couldn't find his body after the ship burst and caught fire. Gina returned to Cambodia to oversee the group after all of that, but something unexpected happened one day while she was educating youngsters. Bishop appeared to be in fine health when Gina arrived. Bishop returned aboard the ship before the explosion to seek cover in a strong anchor storage compartment to withstand the blast, and after the wreck was transported to the mainland in the evening, Bishop sadly slipped away. Max returns to the CCTV footage at the end of the film and sees Bishop emerge safely from the Angkor vaults, and then he deletes the tape in order to keep Bishop's death a secret. What did you think of the sequel? Did you like it better than the first? Let us know in the comments below.